Habakkuk 3:3-4. Who is the Holy One? God came from Teman, the Holy One from Mount Paran. His glory covered the heavens, and his praise filled the earth. His splendor was like the sunrise. Rays flashed from his hand, where his power was hidden. Habakkuk 3:3-4. This stunning passage in Habakkuk raises profound theological questions. Who is the Holy One who shares in God's glory and radiates divine power? Can this glory and power be separate from God himself? Let's explore Habakkuk 3:3-4, its theological depth, and why skeptics must grapple with its implications. 1. The context of Habakkuk 3:3-4. Habakkuk 3 is a prayer and a poetic reflection on God's mighty acts of salvation and judgment. Teman and Mount Paran. These locations evoke imagery of God's past deliverance of Israel, particularly during the Exodus. The Holy One's glory. The description of glory covering the heavens and power hidden in his hand points to an extraordinary divine presence. Challenge. If God is strictly Unitarian, who is this Holy One sharing in his glory and power? 2. The glory and power of the Holy One. The passage describes the Holy One with attributes that are uniquely divine. Glory. Covering the heavens. This language mirrors descriptions of God's own glory throughout Scripture. Exodus 40:34, Isaiah 6:3. Rays from his hand. Symbolizing divine power, this imagery suggests a direct connection to God's majesty and authority. Hidden power. The Holy One's power is depicted as veiled, aligning with the concept of God's transcendent nature. Challenge. How can the Holy One possess divine glory and power without being fully God? 3. Connection to Jesus Christ. The New Testament identifies Jesus Christ as the ultimate revelation of God's glory and power. John 1:14. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son. Colossians 1:15-17. The Son is the image of the invisible God. In him all things were created. Hebrews 1:3. The Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being. Challenge. If Jesus is not the Holy One described in Habakkuk, who else fulfills this role of manifesting God's glory and power? 4. Implications for the Trinity. Habakkuk 3:3-4 provides a glimpse into the relational nature of God, consistent with the doctrine of the Trinity. The Father, the source of glory and power. The Son, the Holy One who manifests God's glory and power. The Spirit, the active presence of God's power working in creation and salvation. Challenge. If skeptics deny the Trinity, how do they explain the Holy One's distinct role and shared divinity with God? 5. Counter-arguments and responses. Skeptics may argue that the Holy One is a poetic or symbolic reference to God himself. However, distinct roles. The text distinguishes between God and the Holy One, suggesting a relationship within the Godhead. Biblical consistency. Other passages, such as Isaiah 6:3 and John 1:14, affirm the idea of God's glory being revealed through a distinct person. Challenge. How do skeptics reconcile the Holy One's distinct identity and divine attributes with their view of a strictly singular God? 6. Why this matters understanding. Habakkuk 3:3-4 deepens our understanding of God's nature and his plan for redemption. Jesus as the Holy One. This passage points to Jesus as the visible manifestation of God's glory and power. A call to worship. Recognizing the Holy One's divine role inspires awe and reverence. Hope for believers. Just as God's glory filled the heavens, His presence fills the lives of those who trust in Him. Challenge. If skeptics deny Jesus as the Holy One, how do they explain the divine attributes and roles assigned to Him in both the Old and New Testaments? Call to action. What do you think about Habakkuk 3:3-4? Does this passage reveal Jesus as the Holy One, or is there another explanation? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking Bible studies.